Good morning. Let me see just 1 second. Go live. Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is Dalida again. Another week we are discussing a very important topic. I'm really passionate about it, and I know Masooma today is also passionate about this topic. How are you doing today, Masooma?
Fantastic. Ready to take on the day. I've done my self-care and I'm ready to handle the day.
Okay, that's great. Actually, Masooma, I've been reflecting, and I noticed uh, most women I know or I've been raised around wear the sacrifice badge like an honor.
hmm
They juggle careers, families, expectations, and somewhere in between, they push their own needs down to the bottom of the list, and most they don't ever reach to it. But at what cost? We've been conditioned. I was conditioned to believe that putting myself first is selfish, and it's really a good to be a good woman, to good mother, daughter, partner, wife, professional even. We must give until we are empty. And
hmm
yet there is this point that when we run on empty, we really don't we hurt ourselves, and we hurt the people that we are trying to protect and support and love, because one time we won't be able to give anymore. We can't give on empty. So this is why this talk today about self-care is important, and why women should change this paradigm and put themselves first. And self-care is not selfish. This is the biggest highlight of the talk. And it's not about spa or face care or doing my hair and my nails. This is not self-care. This is just the outside shell of it. But it's about our survivor, about our power, about our self-image, and it's the foundation of everything, or how we want to present ourselves in life. So I would like to start with a question for you. What is self-care for you?
Um, so self-care for me personally, the way I define it is any activity that I intentionally do to bring myself into more joy, balance, and harmony within me. Because I want to be able to show up in the world, um, you know, happy, right? Like no
Yeah.
one wants to be around a miserable person. So so if I don't take care of myself, if I don't do those activities that bring me closer to my joy, balance, and just like harmony, I cannot give from an empty cup, right? If I'm
Yeah.
depleted or if I'm empty. So that's how I define it. Like any activities that intentionally bring you closer to your self balance, like a healthy way of showing up in the world.
Yeah. So if you want to identify, like, yeah, things that bring self balance, but within all this way of life, within all the chaos in the life, between all the demands that we have as women, and even as individuals, as successful people, I don't want to only say women, but
Mhm.
because we are women, I'd like to reflect on our experience. How can we find time to fill up this cup?
We all have the same amount of time, whether you're Jeff Bezos or me. We all have the same exact amount of time, 24 hours, yeah? So it's up to you to intentionally, that's why I put the word intentional in it, because you have to intentionally schedule it. You have to intentionally put it into the formula of this is part of this is part of me. And my cat wants to be in the video. um, this is this is part of part of my preparation for success, because if I'm constantly giving and there's nothing left, there's only one way. It's like burnout, or I can't even show up anymore, right? And so, like, I think that if you schedule self-care into your day, into your week, into your month, um, like, and take it serious, like this is part of me forcing myself to reboot,
Yeah.
because even like just like computers need reboots, cell phones, they run out of battery, and like you need to charge them. So your body, your consciousness, your essence needs rebooting. And so if you don't schedule it in, you will go on empty, and then become miserable. So me personally, like I actually like schedule self-care into my week and into my month. I do something weekly and I do something monthly for myself that forces myself to reboot or reset.
Yeah. It's intentionality. I totally agree with you. When if we wait things to happen for us, it will never happen, especially with all the demands that are going on in my life, in our life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So our 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 day should be around this certain schedule, this certain routine, and big part of the routine should be self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I heard something today. It was like the rule of success is having a routine in your life and allowing your life to go to around this routine, because if you don't set those time standard and fixed and not give up on them and give them a priority, they will you will remove them to replace it with any other demands in your life, and you will end
Mm-hmm.
up burning out. So yeah, many people say, no, I want to take care of myself when I find time. No, you need to find time. You need to put in, block this time, because if you didn't block it, it will never happen. It's the same as any other topic or any other idea you need to work on in your life. But
Mm-hmm.
the problem that I faced, and I know many others would face, is feeling guilt. If
Mm-hmm.
my daughter needs me and if I need me to take care of me, I would feel guilty to say no and go pick myself. And
Mm-hmm.
just saying these words is weird. No, I should pick my daughter first. So, but I won't be able to give her if I didn't pick myself and try to take care of me first. So
Absolutely.
how do we go with the concept of feeling guilty?
Okay, so first of all, that's actually a very natural thing. Congratulations, you're a mother. You feel guilt, especially mom guilt is an actual like real thing. So it just comes with the territory of being a mom. So don't feel bad about that. However, do find a way to balance yourself. Obviously, if you have an infant, you know, then I would say prioritize the infant over yourself, just because their survival depends on you. But if your children are at an age where they somewhat comprehend, like mommy needs time for herself or whatever, however that works, then you have to schedule it. And if you cannot do it with your child for whatever reason, you have to ask for help. And that's another thing that us Middle Easterns, or whatever, not just Middle Easterns, like women, like they're hyper independent and like they don't want to ask for help. Um, and like they burn out. I'll give you an example. My sister-in-law has three young ones, and she's always on the go. They're all like under the 6 and 4, 3, 6, 3, and 1 year old. So they demand a lot of your time and attention. And so knowing what I know, I tell her on a weekly basis, I'm like, hey, whenever you need a reboot or a reset, let me know, because she will never ask for it. And
Yeah.
so like that's how it started. I told her, I was like, hey, this is going to happen and it's just natural. So you have to learn to ask me. And so actually this week she asked me, she said, hey, can you watch my kids Friday night so I can, have some me time? I was like, yes, of course, it's my pleasure. But I think that if we normalize asking for help, especially in our culture, our sister-in-laws, our mothers, our aunts, or even our friends, even if it's like 2 hours or whatever, it's enough for us to fill ourselves up so that we can show up in the world with more power and more fulfillment. Yeah. Like I don't know. This is how I've,
No,
this is,
no, I totally agreed, and I experienced that when I
Mhm.
had my daughter. it's funny how uh, I was invited. I was working at the American University of Beirut, and I was invited for a like psychology round table with a psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
and it was basically for moms or
Mm-hmm.
new moms.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still like, my daughter was couple of months, and I have to work, and all my focus is I want to work and go back to spend time with her, to take care of her, because she's with my parents, my mom, most of the time when I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
So during this session, she was like, we were talking, discussing what's going on. She said, you need to pick a hobby at least once per week. Go
Mm-hmm.
and do something for yourself. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm leaving my daughter all day and I have to leave her more for a hobby. She said, if you keep stressing yourself by going to work, then going to her, you won't be able to spend the good time with her because you're overwhelmed, you're burnt out, you're stressed. You won't give her the, it will be a duty more
Mm-hmm.
than an act of care and love to your daughter. You will be
Yeah.
overwhelmed. You will be snapping if she did something, if she cried, because you can't give anymore. So it's important to take 1 hour per week, because
Mm-hmm.
my daughter was young. She still needed more
Yeah.
time, more attention. 1 hour per week just to empty all the
Mm-hmm.
stress. Do something that will you really love and be
Mm-hmm.
purposeful in what you're doing, not just hanging around scrolling social media. No,
Mm-hmm.
pick a hobby, an activity, something that will help you empty this cup. And then, so I noticed when I started doing this, I started going dancing once per week, practicing dancing. So when I go home, I'm energetic, I'm happy, I'm positive,
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to play with her instead of being no energy and I'm drained. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt how this reflects on how productive I am at work, how productive I am with her and taking care of her. But it took me a lot to learn the idea of, can you take the care of my daughter so I go dancing?
Yeah.
You know, I can say, can you take care of Mia so I can go to work because I have to. But to
Mm-hmm.
say to go dancing, it's weird, but still it was really helpful because I was able to give back in a more positive way.
Yeah. I would like to add one more thing to this, especially when the kids are younger. In our culture, you know, in our culture, men usually are the providers or whatever, financial providers, but they don't really help with the children, right? It's
Yeah.
just culturally like that. And so I was very lucky that my ex-husband was curious about, like he was just so into parenting, right? And I remember my brothers were not like, my brothers would never change a diaper or or help their wives with the thing. And then like it was such a pleasant surprise that my ex-husband, the father of my children, was very very much hands-on. He was curious and he wanted to do those things. So I got lucky in that way, and I was even able to take a trip, like an overnight trip with my best friend for my birthday, like when my kid was only like a year and a half, because like I knew that my ex-husband was so capable of taking the baby.
Yeah.
The reason why I brought this up is I think that we can also normalize, asking the father of our children to help out, explaining to them, hey, I need this, you want a happier wife, you want a happier mother for your children. I need some time to myself, and I need you to come through for me. I need you to watch the kids while I take a bath without anyone screaming or asking, demanding of me. I need to, go get my nails done or whatever, like whatever brings you joy or whatever fulfills you. And so self care doesn't need to be a spa day. It could be something as simple as, I want to go sit at a cafe and just enjoy a cup of coffee and people watch.
Yeah.
And
It,
so,
yeah, it can be just, I want to sit around outside by myself and read a book. Like,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
I just want to do something I enjoy for an hour every week. It's
Yeah,
not that much of demands. uh, but, but yeah, this is the mindset of no, we can't ask for help, we can't ask for something for us. It's
Mhm.
always no, I can ask for my mom to help me to go out for a social event, to attend a wedding or visit a friend or something, because it's a social must do interaction. But to take
Mhm.
care of myself, it's something, oh my God, I can't ask for. I even at the gym, a lot of women tend to cancel their gym membership or stop going or cancel some sessions just because they they have the kids and they can't
Mhm.
can manage their time. But how your health will deteriorate if you
Mhm.
did, how long you can keep taking care of your kids, running around with them, if you didn't take care of your physical health too.
Yeah.
So when was the last time you were thinking, okay, I'm struggling, I need to think about Masuma now, it's Masuma's time, or I can't give anymore?
Last year, I fell into caretaking for my parents. I
Okay.
have six siblings, all brothers. I'm the only girl. And last year, I fell into this role of being the primary caretaker for both my parents. And I'm a single mom to two young men. And so I found myself in burnout, like severe burnout, because I realized, oh, it's a cultural expectation that the girl takes care of her parents, you know? My brothers are great men. They financially provide, they help out when you ask them. They can't do the emotional or physical caretaking, and their wives help or whatever. And so I the burnout gave me some insight, yeah. And I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I need to learn how to ask for help. But I had so much resentment, and so I had to like clear my how I felt about it, because like if people don't know, they can't help you.
Yeah.
If people don't know that you're struggling, and that's why I'm really encouraging asking for help, because no one knows what you're going through until you speak about it, until you ask them, until you express yourself. And so I found the courage to ask my family and say, hey, guys, like, I'm a single mom. You guys should be helping me. I shouldn't be, bearing all this on my shoulders. And they said, you're absolutely right. And so, like, now we have this beautiful rotation of every single day in the week, because there's seven of us, mashallah. Every single day of the week, one of us brings them dinner or spends time with them. One of my brothers helps with dad, taking care of him. He has dementia. And then, like, I also asked my brothers for help, and we got an actual caretaker to help out with them during the day so that I can focus on my career, on my work, because I was like completely depleted, minimizing myself, putting my career lower, whatever, right? So I highly, I don't know who's watching this, I highly recommend, getting creative with how can we make it work. And sometimes, like sometimes it's not the first time that you won't figure it out on the first time. But that's why I like telling my stories or what I do, because sometimes it helps people get inspired. Like, oh, okay, there's five siblings. Maybe I should tell the rest of the siblings, hey, I really need help. I'm becoming bitter. Like I literally told my brothers, I was like, I'm becoming bitter, and I kind of want to like run away from my own life. And I was like, this is not okay. This is not fair. And I was like, I love you guys, and I want you in my life, and I don't want to get to the point where I, like we fall apart. And so I was like, I need help, and they're like, yes, tell us what to do. And then like now, when I schedule an appointment, whatever, and I'm like, who can make it? And someone's like, hey, I'll take her to her appointment, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm just speaking on my personal experience. So.
Thank you. No, thank you for sharing. And it's
Mhm.
important to highlight it's not only like we were focusing on kids, but it's also family commitments, taking care of
Mhm.
our parents, you reach a point that you are taking care of everyone around you, and to a point of exhausting. Like in my case, I was thinking when you were talking, I was thinking of my younger sister. I'm traveling most of the time. My other sister is traveling, so she's the one who is taking care of the family, taking care of the kid, of her kids, of my daughter too. And at the same time, If I need a paper from the bank, how can you help me with this? And my other sister can
Mhm.
help me, because she's the one over there, and she's
Mhm.
the one who, and she's, yes, 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 I can do it, I can do it. Now, yeah, she can do it, but
Mhm.
on what price?
Yeah.
And many times when you are in the situation, you don't see what you're going through, because you really don't have time to pause and reflect. Now, one thing about you is you are into this growth journey, you are a transformational coach.
Mhm.
You you can a little bit assess what's going on and pause and reflect and say, okay, now enough is enough.
Mhm.
But many people don't run on empty and don't know. It's like the
Mhm.
sign of, the fuel, the gas
Yeah.
sign when it lights.
Yeah.
The light doesn't work in their engine.
Yeah.
So they run on empty, but they can't tell. And it's important for us, instead of reaching out to my sister and saying, okay, let me know how can I help,
Mhm.
which she doesn't know how can I help.
Mhm.
Just offering help, you know what, I'll take this from your plate,
Yeah.
I will help you with this. So it's not only about our self-care, it's also about caring of those people around us, by noticing,
Mhm.
okay, don't wait for them to cry for help. Just
Mhm. Mhm.
you offer help in the way that you can.
Yeah.
I always say, let me know if I can do something of help,
Mhm.
but no, just give the hand.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. That's sort of what I did with my sister-in-law, the one with the 3 kids. I said, "How about I'll come and be with the kids for 5 hours. You go do whatever you want, even if it's you sitting at a cafe or sitting on outside your house or whatever it is." Like, I kind of forced her, and now she loves it. Now she asks me, but it's because, like, we have this open and honest communication, and I'm glad that you recognize that about your sister, even though she doesn't complain, like, those things, compact,
Yeah.
over time. And so I'm glad that you're aware, and like whoever's listening, why don't you guys reflect on, who in the family is, bearing the biggest burden, and like offer them help,
Yeah.
because it literally takes a village to grow together.
Yes, we are there to support each other, and there are some things I see others don't see, and vice versa. And
Mhm.
it's important to get outside of us and think about others in the community, because life is a cycle. When I help you today, you will jump in and help me tomorrow. But it's reciprocal relationships.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if I'm throwing all my burden on you,
Mhm.
and the problem is, when you say, this is the same situation with your brothers, when you were saying yes, 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 they don't know what you're passing through. So
Mhm.
okay, Masuma can take care of it, Masuma
Mhm.
can do it, until you reach a point like you can't do it anymore. And instead of telling them I can do it, no, you go to the hospital, you get sick, you
Mhm.
pay the price by, with your health, with your not giving enough to your children. You
Mhm.
will pay the price.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we won't know what we're good doing until we pay the price.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
For Pay the price in our physical health, in our family. Sometimes we women go divorced just because they were burnt out, not
Mhm.
because there's
Mhm.
a problem. They stopped communicating, they stopped, because it's exhausting for them to get into any other problem.
Yeah.
Now, y- let's go to self-care in three different aspects: the
Okay.
emotional part, the physical part, and the spiritual part.
I love
Because each of these aspects needs its own routines, its own way of taking care of us,
it.
so that we can people think health is just about, okay, me eating healthy or lean, or me eating salad and doing some workout. But there's a lot of factors that affect health. Let's
Mhm.
start with the emotional part. What is the some forms of self-care to make us more emotionally healthy?
For me personally, I think that if you have a good group of either girlfriends or friends that are close to you that you can just connect and vent to, not to fix or to instigate or whatever, just to give them this a safe space to vent about their problems. Yeah. So like if I was married, you know, like what I do this with my sister-in-law, the one I told you about. Um, we almost talk on a daily basis, and then there's times where we need more. And then she's like, "Hey, I have some chai for you." you know. So I think like having an emotional support group or person is important, and you tell each other, "Hey, I just need to be heard," you know. I just
Yeah.
need someone to listen to me. Can you listen to me? And so I think it works really well with women because we're all very similar in this way. Um, what about you? What are your thoughts on emotional
Emotional, I
stuff?
would say yes, this is a big part, is sharing what we're feeling instead of putting down all the emotions. And we mentioned one of the topics we want to discuss is the emotions that are buried deep within.
Mhm,
So yeah, I believe this is a big part of it. Another part is doing something that's, for example, for me, dancing. It
mhm,
emotionally makes me feel better. Just, and they are related to each other, physical and emotional, but something that you feel, maybe just walking in nature, it will
mhm,
make you
mhm,
emotionally feel better. Meditation, uh, just something that makes you happy for you can
mhm,
be a big aspect. I believe that's for me. Now, from my knowledge of also the nutrition, also there's some types of food that can
mhm,
emotionally make us feel better or emotionally depress us too.
mhm, mhm,
So
mhm,
all these processed foods that we eat, all the things that are not natural, and I know you've done this because you go through a lot of body cleansing,
mhm,
it
mhm.
affects us emotionally. That's
Yeah.
why there's a lot of level of higher depression and emo- emotional problems right now because of all the unnatural things that we eat, which has a
Mhm,
reflection on our bodies and emotions. Also, sleep a
mhm,
big part of us. Like if you don't sleep enough, if you have this tendency of staying up all night and waking up early because you have work and take care of kids, this is
mhm,
also can affect you emotionally. I passed through it during COVID. I was emotionally in a very low situation when I'm staying home all day, not
mhm,
meeting people, not going out, not working. So also this is a big part. It doesn't have to be sharing, but
mhm,
just
mhm.
go out.
Yeah.
It it can make a difference.
You're absolutely right. Hiking is my fulfillment or whatever, filling myself up with what I love, being in nature. Also, like I have a routine of taking a bath on a Sunday night. It resets me, because
Yeah.
I instruct my body to release all the emotional clutter through the water, and I have like this whole ritual that I do, where I use like Epsom salt, and I instruct my body to release any negative emotions or toxins that are not good for me, so that I can start the week fresh. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. That's cool. I like it. Epsom salt.
Yeah. Thanks. um, so spiritually, let's talk about spiritual uh, self-care.
Yeah. Please.
So, well, do you want to share yours? Do you have a practice?
Uh, I believe in like the emotional and spiritual come together. Prayer is a big one for spiritual.
Mm,
Uh, Prayer and being, I don't know if it's considered spiritual, but I think it is. Gratefulness, practicing to
mm,
what I'm grateful for every day, focusing on, even when I'm having a problem,
Mm-hmm.
focusing on what's positive about this problem to be more grateful. It's
Mm-hmm.
spiritually making me feel better, believing that I there's someone, but like God is for me, God is out there to protect me in the even with the problems,
Yeah.
He's taking care of me. So just this belief with prayer, with some meditation, with breathing techniques, I think they are spiritually, they keep me grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it.
There is one amazing music I listen to when I'm walking in
Mm-hmm.
nature. I put my AirPods and listen to it. It connects me in a weird way with the
Mm-hmm.
plants, with the trees, with the birds. Uh, it's a form that I go away from what's surrounding and just
Mm-hmm.
be in the moment with nature, with higher power, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel it just washes my soul.
Mm, I
It,
love that.
it's amazing feeling. Unfortunately, I don't do it as often as I would love to, but
Mm-hmm.
even if it was once per month, it
Mm-hmm.
makes a big difference.
Does Delina need to schedule that into her into
Yeah,
her?
I need to schedule that. Yep.
Okay. Very nice. I have a couple of practices for my spiritual self care. One is on a daily basis before I go to sleep. I actually take inventory of all the good things. You know, sort of like your gratitude practice.
Yeah.
This is my gratitude practice. So I do two things. I forgive myself for things that didn't go well. You know, there's always things, yeah. Whether it was me making bad choices with food or whatever, you know, whether it was arguments, whether I didn't complete a task. So I forgive myself for those things that didn't go well. And then I also then I also take inventory of what went well and how I can incorporate more of that into my, you know, day the next day or whatever, right? And then also, like, I think I used to do this a lot more back when I was not in a good place. I used to have a journal that I would write to God. I would say, "Dear God," and then I would just complain because I was too embarrassed to say this to my friends or to go to therapy. You know,
Yeah.
when I was processing like deep emotional stuff, I would write a letter to God, and then I would burn it because, like, you know, like I'm like, okay, I vented to God. And then I would like burn the paper so that like no one sees it. No one sees like my, you know, what bad thoughts or I had or bad feelings or whatever I had because I was embarrassed, you know. Now
Yeah.
I don't care any, you know, I'm okay with sharing all of it, but at that time there was so much shame, you know. And so that was part of my spiritual self-care. And now I also do a practice of, you know, like meditation in the mornings. I just sit in silence after morning prayer, and then I just kind of do some breathing exercises and just connect with higher consciousness, you know. So yeah, that's my spiritual self-care.
How difference you feel in your life once you practice versus when
Mhm.
you don't practice?
Oh, it's a huge difference. I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you talking to you right now.
Yeah.
You know, like it becomes, yeah, it's just like eating, you know, like you need energy for eating. So it's like energy for the soul, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like I don't know how to not do it anymore, you know?
Yeah. I feel when some days I start my day very early, I miss meditating or miss just it doesn't have to be, just to clarify, it doesn't have to be 2 3 hours of routine in the morning.
Mhm,
Just giving yourself 5 minutes to sit,
mhm,
close your eyes, breathe, and say, "Thank you, God, for what you're giving me." I
mhm,
believe as a starting point, this is enough just to shift your perspective between being giver and always hustling and going to it and being
mhm,
able to, okay, I'm receiving.
mhm,
I'm taking care of everyone, but there's someone who's taking care of me. And
mhm,
just this shift in your mindset will help you get stronger during the day, will help you refuel. Now, if you can do 20 minutes of meditation, of course, that would be better,
Mm-hmm.
but start with 5, because many people say meditation is very hard for me. I can't
Yeah.
sit and focus. And it is, but
Yeah.
it's about practice. It's about going into this habit.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is forcing your mind to sit quiet. And the
Mm-hmm.
more you do it, the better you become, the more in control you are with your responses, with your emotions. And it's now we separated it with physical, emotional, and spiritual, but the fact is they
They're
all
all.
come
Mm-hmm.
together.
Exactly.
So physical, your emotions are created by motion. When you move, when you run, when you work out, you become better emotionally, and then
Mm-hmm.
you will become better spiritually. So let's go to the physical. What's your practices?
For physical self-care,
Yeah.
recently it's been very mindfully eating, like eating things that are nourishing to my body. So like I invested in some supplements. And right now I'm on a cleanse. I'm on day 10 of 28 days of this intestinal cleanse. I do recommend that you do it once in your lifetime. Basically, it flushes out, like, you know, foods or toxins, like from medicines and stuff that are hanging out in the lining of your intestines. It's not easy. You have to prepare your body for it. It's a raw vegan um, diet when it comes to the food, and then there's supplements I have to take. So right now that's I'm in the middle of that. But usually how I do self-care for my body is Sundays are non-negotiable. I go for a hike or for a walk that I enjoy, and so it like it fills my soul, and like I can't, I don't know how else to live on a Sunday. you know let's see, physically, uh, forcing myself to go to sleep, um, even on the, like on the nights that I don't want to go to bed early. like, forcing, or not forcing, but prioritizing sleep,
Yeah.
because it's one of the more important components of our health that we don't even recognize. And so I struggle with um, being on my phone too late, or like watching Netflix or whatever. So I have actually created an alarm for myself and say, hey, put everything away and just, like, go to bed. And I'm about 80% successful right now. I started this a few months ago. I used to be really bad at it, but like now I'm doing a lot better.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your
So
physical self-care routines?
so this is very important because um, I believe it starts with physical. So
Mhm.
even if you didn't start with spiritual or emotional, when you start with physical, because it's one, two, three steps that you have to do that will automatically bring you to a better emotional situation, and from it you will go to better
Mhm.
spiritual situation. So physical is as simple as move during the day, eat healthy,
Mhm.
whether you go to extreme with this clean the cleansing, or just eat healthy. Try to pick better choices. Try to cook at home instead of eating out. Try
Mhm.
to uh, less, like, everyone knows what they have to eat healthy, but it's about doing it. Uh, opting in into preparing than going to the easy choice, last minute
Mhm.
choice. When I leave myself without preparing lunch, I would have to pick what's easier. So
Yeah.
it goes to more processed foods and ready-made food, which is not as good as something I take my time to prepare.
Mhm.
So it's a start by planning. But my biggest thing is sleep.
Mhm.
And sleeping is not about getting those 8 hours, it's about the quality of those 8 hours. Because when we sleep at night, it's our memory, It's our
Mm-hmm.
brain focus during the other day. It's about even how we process information, what things we remember the next day or not. So it's a place for your mind to manufacture and process everything that you pass through during the day. If you didn't give it a good quality time of sleep, you
Mm-hmm.
won't be able to keep going. And that's why mostly you will be burned out during the day. So for me, sleeping is very important, and it's how I prepare myself to sleep, which I learned from Brandon Burchard, and I've been trying to apply, which is no work right before I sleep. Sometimes I read a book. No
Mm-hmm.
screens at least 1 hour before I sleep. So he says
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. 3 hours before you sleep, no food.
No food.
So you go with the stomach instead of eating something, especially heavy meal, and go to bed. No
Yeah.
food. 2 hours no screen. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
2 hours no work.
Mm-hmm.
1 hour no screen.
Mm-hmm. I
So
love it.
the last minute before you sleep, give yourself time, because the blue filters and whatever you see in the screen will affect the quality of your sleep.
Yep.
So yeah, you will sleep, but your mind won't be doing what it needs to do to process information for
Yeah.
the memory, for everything. And you will wake up grumpy the other day.
Mm-hmm. Not just your mind, but also like your body has a filtering system. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So like in the, I don't know if it's Chinese medicine. I'm sorry if I say this incorrectly, but they teach that like your organs are doing their, each of the organs have a time where they have to reboot or reset and process what they have to process. I think it starts at like 10 or 11 p.m., where the first job is like the gallbladder and it does its job, and then from 1 to 3 a.m., then it's the lungs, from 3 to 5 a.m., it's kidneys, like each of our organs have a job to do when
Yes.
we're sleeping. And if we're not sleeping, our organs can't do their part. And then we start, over time when it compacts, we get sick and we're like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with my liver. I don't even drink. Why do I have liver problems, And it's because like your liver didn't have the time to, reset itself or reboot itself on a daily basis in the circadian rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's 100%. One thing I learned when I started, also in addition to sleep, I learned during when I started doing the personal trainer part, and people don't eat much, watch out their food. They work out daily, but they seem not to lose weight.
Mm-hmm,
And big part of it is they don't get good sleep.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When you don't sleep well, your stress level increases, the cortisol increases, which will resist weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
So many women think, oh, why don't I not lose weight? Sleep.
Yeah.
When you sleep, your body will burn this excess energy that you've been eating during the day. So sleep is a big part of why you are not in the body shape that you wanna be at. If you're
Mm-hmm,
doing what you have to do during the day, give your body time to rest and to reboot, so
mm-hmm.
that you will get to the figure that you want. So yeah, there's a lot of factors and physical health. I'm also not 100% like perfect, but I'm trying my best to at
Mm-hmm.
least develop some habits
Mm-hmm.
that will help me become better on
Yeah,
daily.
I do have a tip that helped me keep track, and that's why I can say, oh, I'm doing this 80% or however many percent that I give you. I started keeping track of, all the things that are part of my self-care, or like, that keep me in my optimal health. Yeah. So my list includes like, oh, did I meditate today? Like I have this chart that I have by my bedroom, uh, and like I look at it at the end of the day. Okay, have I done this? And I check it off, right? And then I give myself like a percentage. Okay, 75% completed, 30% completed, 100% completed. And so like I notice like, and then I also keep track of how did I feel that day or the next day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Did I sleep 6 hours? Did I meditate for 20 minutes in the morning? Did I, did I do this? Like all those things. So like I give myself a um, what's it called? I give myself like a score every day, and
Yeah.
then it helps me reflect on, okay, what were my days that I did really well, and was it because I filled myself up first? Did I prioritize my self care? Was I in good balance, and that's why it led me to that successful day or to successful project completion or whatever it was? And usually it is. So that's my tip if you like
Yeah.
it.
This is the number one tip in self-development. You can't improve what you can't measure. So
Yeah,
it's important to
eventually,
start
yeah.
measuring so that you can know how you're improving and
Mhm,
how now we've been talking about a lot of things, and I think for many this sound overwhelming,
mhm, mhm,
but I want to stress that you don't have to do all at once. Start with one thing.
mhm, mhm,
Just do one thing, one improvement, and then it gradually pushes to rest a lot of improvements. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that we didn't know, or we inherited in a certain type of behavior that
mhm,
we didn't know better. Our parents didn't know better, but science has proven, uh, people experiences has proven that to better your quality of life, you have to take care of yourself
mhm.
emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Yeah.
One act for you per day that's
Mhm,
purely just for you, whether it's in the emotional section, physical, or in the spiritual section, can make a big difference on your life and on the life of everyone around you.
mhm, mhm.
Professional level, relationship level, all the aspects of your life. That's what I've experienced personally, and that's what science says. Masuma, last word. Is there anything else you like to share?
Um, oh, let's go back to the title. Self-care isn't selfish. So like in our culture, like being selfish is such a bad thing, yeah? Like we're programmed to not be selfish, but there's no clear definition of what is selfish, you know? Someone who is selfish um, is completely self-centered and have no regard for someone else. So if you're choosing to put your self-care, you know, sometimes prioritize your self-care, that doesn't mean that you're selfish. Like know the difference, be discerning about what that means, what is truly selfish and what is truly self-care. Because once you realize and you make peace with you know hey, this is part of my self-care, it fulfills me, it makes me feel more balanced and happy, and I can show up in the world better, then like that's how you know that this is self-care and not selfishness. So like you have to define it for yourself, and self-care is different for everyone. Again, I call it intentionally doing activities that bring you more into wholeness, balance, and happiness. So you create that for yourself, you choose that for yourself. That's about it for me.
Yeah. Now, yeah, thank you. I like this idea about identifying what's selfish. And I want to point that because you have this guilt, you see it as selfishness
Hmm.
because you feel guilty about it. So I believe what we need to focus on is removing this guilt and believing that this is something we're doing for us and for others. I'm
Hmm.
taking care of me bef- in order to be able to take care of the ones I love. In
Hmm.
the plane, they say put your oxygen first
Yeah.
so that you can take care of others, because you can't put or help others if you don't have oxygen. And
Hmm.
self care is your oxygen to keep going in life. Don't wait till it's too late,
Hmm. I love it.
because there is a price you will have to pay sooner or later. And let's start paying the price now by putting some time for us instead of being forced to give time for us when we're in the hospital, when we're struggling with diseases and medication, because what you're feeling now will be presented in your physical body by sicknesses, by diabetes, by high blood pressure, by uh, all other formats of sicknesses that we are suffering from right now. So take care of yourself now so that you will be taking care of everyone else.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Masooma. I will see you
Thank you,
next
Khalida.
week.
I'll see you next week. Thank you.